Hello? Yeah, sorry. I'm having to do this on my phone, and my phone's not very good, so
That's
I'm having a
okay,
couple of
don't worry about
issues.
that. Can I ask you just to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, so my name's Brandon. I'm in Soaked. We're a UK-based band, and we've been around probably for about 2 years now. We've released an EP, we've toured, and we've got to do great things like record in Abbey Road and sell out our London headline show.
You've just said all the things that I have written down in 2 seconds.
Wow, I'm
So
usually rubbish at
literally,
that.
I've got things like you're touring and you're selling out your headline shows at Grace, and the debut EP has like 40,000 streams, and recording
Yeah.
at Abbey Road must have been very fun.
Oh yeah, it was great. It's just when we done it, I don't think we was experienced enough in terms of, being a recording band. So we kind of went in there and in my mind I wanted to because we was only there for a day and I thought, right, let's rehearse and rehearse and rehearse and let's go into the studio and let's see if we can do like 4 songs in one day, which is just impossible. But what I wanted to do, I wanted the entire EP to be recorded at Abbey Road. And I thought if we're good enough and we're rehearsed enough, we might be able to go in there within one day, do it all. Well, it didn't really go that way. So the only thing we actually ended up walking out with was Windmill Hill. But all the others that we tried to do and just rush, we come out. And I think the second that we come out of the studio and we got on the train and was sitting on the train listening to what we'd done, just the rough mixes. And I knew even then my heart sank and I just thought, oh man, this is bad. We really went to Abbey Road and got the lifetime opportunity, and we only walked out. I mean, we walked out of Windmill Hill, what was great, the first single that released, but the other 2 songs we done. As soon as I walked out of there and listened to them, I was like, man, that's dreadful. Why did we do that? And I've regretted it ever since.
That must have been tough. Must be tough to look
Yeah.
back on that. But hey ho, you might get another opportunity, and
Oh yeah, of course. I'm quite a hopeful person.
well, that's the best way to be.
Of
Definitely
course.
positivity work. So this started in 2022, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it started as a solo project. How did it develop into a full band then?
Because I couldn't find anyone. I never wanted it to be like a solo thing or anything like that. That was never the idea. It was more I, just where we lived. There was no one that I got on with who was a musician, and yeah, I really struggled to find drummers and bassists. So yeah, for the early part of it, I was just sort of doing it on my own at open mics and wherever anyone would have me. I then got our first drummer who ended up leaving not long after, and then I recruited our current lineup. What's Ronnie and Alex, and that funny enough, we all live like within 5 minutes of each other, so that's really good. I just didn't know Alex. I knew Ronnie my whole life, but I hadn't spoken to him for a little while. So yeah, the story's not too interesting. They didn't like I don't know, like a meteorite happened and they just like crash landed in front of me or anything like that. It's pretty basic band setup story, you know.
Well, I've heard some stories, so that's not a bad story.
I mean,
Um,
we didn't meet at uni or anything like that. I think that's such a boring way for bands to meet. It's just we was all at uni together studying music. It's just like,
yeah,
well,
that
yeah,
happens quite a lot. I've noticed that quite a lot at the moment. There's a lot of resurgence of people that have been in bands years ago, have taken a break, and then have come back.
well, the most obvious one, what got announced today is Oasis, isn't it?
Well, that's just been announced this morning. Are
Yeah,
you an
crazy.
Oasis
Eh?
fan?
Yeah, I am. You know, I tell me,
Yeah.
I come from a real when I first started playing guitar and that, and getting into music, I was really into grunge, like Sonic Youth, the Meaty Puppets, the Vaselines, like all the bands that were kind of in the Nirvana atmosphere, what Kurt Cobain liked and that. I was really edgy, you know, and then whenever I heard Oasis or any band that basically weren't talking about hating themselves, I was like, that's rubbish. It's not real music. This is real music. It took me ages to warm up to them, and then I think I listened to What's the Story, Morning Glory, and I was like, man, that's really good. And yeah, it transformed me ever since.
That was a magnificent album.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. It's one of the best ever. I mean, I
Yes.
don't know how you can really fault it. It's up there with like Nevermind the Bollocks by the Sex Pistols, Nevermind by Nirvana, Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses. Just those albums, what they just get it right. They get it perfect, and in the first try as well. I think it's because
Yeah,
they're not really thinking
exactly.
about it. It's just I don't know. You can't plan to make Nevermind or What's the Story Morning Glory, can you? You couldn't
No.
walk in there and go, do you know what? I'm going to write a song that's going to change the entire world. You would never finish it. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know when to put the pen down. It would be like, no, something else. You just, they're like happy accidents, you know.
Yeah, so is that something that with you with songwriting and things, it's just a wee accident, they just appeared? Or do you have a different kind of process for that?
I see it as a quite a popular analogy. What I think a lot of songwriters use is just fishing. What I do, I just see it as I'm fishing. I just the equivalent to going to a lake and casting your rod to me is sitting on at the upstairs at my work, sitting on the sofa, just playing the acoustic guitar during breaks. And sometimes you go up there and you'll get nothing, and it might go days, where you just keep going up, get the guitar out, absolutely nothing comes, and then one day you'll go up there and for no apparent reason you'll start playing and you'll be like, oh my god, what is this? This is really good. I've got a groove on here. There's a good melody going here, and then it just spirals, and then the whole process starts again for each song. Some songs though you can be quite meticulous in, where you kind of plan to write it, if that makes sense. But those songs aren't that good. They're usually just like filler material, which I don't want to do. I like to just pick up the guitar and the song's there. The way I see it, someone else has already written the song somewhere in the universe, and they just pass it down to me. Because I'm not that good to do it myself. Someone's
So it
just
just
controlling my
appears in
hand.
your head.
Yeah, it just appears, and it's
That's
you
how
know.
I get my ideas too. I thought I was weird because my ideas just something usually sparks them a conversation or something, but then it just appears and it's like, how on earth has this happened without no thoughts? And as you
Yeah,
said,
they just
really, they're the
yeah.
ones that turn out to be bangers.
It's a real like spiritual thing. I'm not really like a big spiritual person or anything like that. But when you have stuff like that, it's there's just some magic about it. You can't explain it. You can't really formulate it. Sometimes things just happen. I really can't explain it. I don't even know. It's like gigging. Sometimes you'll play a gig and it'll be to the exact same people in the exact same room, and you might do the same gig 3 times, where it's just a similar room, similar audience, and then one time you'll do it and you'll be like, wow, that was the best gig ever, and you don't know why. It was just good. It's strange, like music. That's why I love it, because it's magical. You can't really predict it.
Well, that's it. Every gig's different because you've got a different crowd, you've got a different atmosphere.
Oh
Um,
yeah, but where we've done a lot of gigs in our first couple of years, and it's like there's a venue in London what we've done countless and countless times. We've done it loads of times, and then I think like one time I played there, and I was like, that was one of my favourite shows. But still, it was just still the same people in the exact same room. There was nothing really that different about it. But for some reason, that magic, I'll call it. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, that
it
just
just
transforms
all
it.
came
You
together.
can't, but yeah, it's such a hard thing to explain. You kind of have to be a creative anyone who's a creative person will understand exactly what I'm talking about.
Totally get what you mean. My ideas, as I said, they just pop. I mean, I can sit for ages, and I think when I've put a bit of pressure on myself, kind of give myself a deadline, I seem to work
Yeah.
better under pressure than if I've got loads to do it. I don't know if that's the same kind of idea.
Something something that I've started doing recently to help me for songwriting for me is was actually really really helped me. I've written loads of songs using this. It's what you do, get use the notes app on your phone, and whenever you get a certain phrase that you like, write it down in your, like, for instance, the title of a song. So I was driving along yesterday, and I thought of a title of a song. I don't have any like melody or music for it, but I just thought by the book. Like and I imagine as soon as I hear that phrase, I think of someone who does everything right, is a proper do-gooder, everything's got to be by the book. But then there might be a little twist to it. They actually might be quite a really seedy and nasty person on the inside. And stuff like that. Having these little phrases and little ideas, when you go to the guitar and you play something, you might just play one chord. And for some reason in your mind will then link that with that phrase, and then it gives you sort of foundation to build a song upon that. So I might hit like an A chord on the guitar, and then for some reason I'll think, do you know what? That sounds like that could be a good intro for that title that I come up with. It's really weird. Like it's such a hard thing to explain, but yeah, there's little things like that help the creative process just flow.
See, that sounds amazing. I really like that idea.
Yeah, just anything
Or
you see, like it could be a feeling. You can write down the feeling that you're feeling, or you might see a red brick wall, what's maybe chipped or crumbling down or something, and you might look at that and get a certain feeling from that, or think something about it, and then just write that down. Because that you can always come back to that for something creative. Because
yeah.
otherwise you'll forget it.
Do you go back and then remember what the feeling or the thing about that one word was, or does it just not make any sense again?
No, I do. I do. It's like I know that if I'm playing maybe I for instance, if I'm playing like minor and sad chords on the guitar, right? I know that I might think about what how can I like take this further? I need a meaning. I need something like, to start getting this song moving, because you can't playing these chords, it's just not really going anywhere. And
Yeah.
then you might, if it doesn't come to you, you can look on your phone app and you go, oh man, that's a really good title. This could be the song I use it for. And then suddenly everything just starts flowing from there. You get ideas for lyrics, and then once you've got an idea for a lyric and the structure of the song, it all just starts flowing really quickly. In my eyes, if something doesn't start flowing quickly and you don't pick up the guitar and it starts going well, like once when the ball's rolling, because you won't want to come away from the guitar. If it takes you about 3 weeks to write a song, it's probably not a good song. You should probably just ditch it and come back to it another time. If you're forcing a song, you're really trying to get a good tune out of a riff or something that you come up with. It's probably not good. You'll end up with something rubbish. So walk away from it, and maybe something will come with it in the future. But yeah, the songs that are forced, it's just they're not the best.
Right. I know that you've got a new single out. I played
Yeah.
it the other day. When's the EP out? When's the album out?
Uh Honestly, I couldn't say.
Is that
It
still in production then?
yeah, it's still in production. We haven't we need to finish off just doing a bit of recording for it, and then it's done. But I've got all the songs and that for it. It's all fully written and stuff. It's just yeah, we just wanted to let the first one kind of do its thing, settle, die out, and then we can get the ball rolling on this one. We're gonna promote this one a lot better than we have on the last one. I didn't really understand promotion when I'd done
Yeah.
the first EP. I kind of just thought the songs will kind of find their own way, and they'll just for some reason end up in the right person's lap. What isn't the case. I kind of learned that the hard way. So
Yeah, there's a
yeah,
lot of
I
work that goes behind the scenes for this.
oh yeah, definitely. I kind of on all the last songs on singles we've done, I just kind of thought, right, I'll just whack a post up on Instagram, one post, say it's out, and that's it. It's like it's just such a rubbish strategy to promote a song. You really need to drag out one single right up until the next single, and you just keep it going and going, rather than just like bang and then die out, and then bang and then die out. You kind of got to drag it out right until it's about people about to get bored of you, and then you go, actually, here's another song. You might like this one, and then just throw that and just keep up that consistency.
So do you find that quite easy with the social media and stuff?
No, not really. I don't think anyone particularly wants to do it or feels comfortable doing it. It's you're putting your like a big part of yourself out there. Especially the thing is, nothing comes easy in life. So if you want good results, you usually have to do things that you're not comfortable with. So if you're someone like me that has never really been in front of a camera before or spoken into a camera, like I can do an interview, I can talk to a person, that's fine. But I've done some videos where I've sort of recorded myself talking, and for TikTok and Instagram Reels and stuff like that. And no, it's not nice. It's really uncomfortable. I struggle to talk into a camera and kind of vlog or anything like that. So yeah, it's nothing comes easy. So you kind of have to, if you want good results, you have to do stuff that you're not comfortable with. You know, you can't just put up what you want to put up because you'll just get the results. You just get the same results. You know, you got to do what people want, not what you want. You know, if people want that, then tough luck. You've got to do it. You've got to deliver something. Obviously, you can add your own twist to it, but yeah, TikTok is a hard game. You can put stuff up there and you can get, people really love it and then people really hate it. I mean, I don't really care what people think anyway. It's, someone who lives a million miles away from me writing a hate comment, their opinion is pretty
That's a good
irrelevant.
attitude to have. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's stuff like that. It's just, it's an uncomfortable thing. Not a lot of people like to do stuff what makes them uncomfortable. But, if you want to be successful, then it's kind of what you got to do. I don't think anyone's really gotten successful just off the back of doing things that they're totally comfortable with.
So the headline shows at the Grace, how did that go?
Oh yeah, it was great. It was really, really good. I think it was wild. I know bands say that like our gig was crazy and there was like three people like jumping up and down at the front row. This was actually it's mental. People getting thrown out. There were people sneaking in alcohol. It was just like it was just mental. Everyone was just having a good time. The promoter, oh man, her name's gone off just off the top of my head. It will come to me at some point. But it was her last gig that she was doing at the Grace, I'm pretty sure, before she went off to do something else. And she was bugging, she was stressing, and at the end of the night, she come up to us and she was like, "That was my last gig that I've done as a promoter now." And I was like, "That was the most mental night I've ever done as well. I've never seen it so crazy." And I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Are you lying? Like, you telling the truth?" She was like, "No, no, no, I'm being serious." I thought she was just like sort of trying to please me, like say, like it was a good show and that, but she was dead
Mhm.
serious. We sold out all our merch as well. We brought a big old box of t-shirts and that. They just flew out. That was great. People loved it. Yeah, it was crazy. It was really, really good.
So what's the next shows that you're doing? Have you got shows in the pipelines?
Yeah, we do. We got quite a few, but none of them are like headline shows. We just focus on growth right now.
Yeah.
When the next EP comes out, maybe we'll do another headline show. Might do one like sooner, like to round off the year. But I don't. I'm more focused on growth right now. I don't want to play to the same people all the time.
I haven't got anything else written down, so is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
Um, wow. I mean, it's been a pretty great, good conversation already, I suppose. But
Thank you. It's
I
been
think
very interesting. It's been good. So what's next then?
I think it's just to put out our recordings and start growing as a band and stuff. Maybe focus more on growing our social media and getting better at that, and as well, writing better songs and really putting out a great EP. That's all I'm focused on. I think with the music thing, you can't really predict a lot of it. Sometimes you might wake up and you'll have an email from someone, and from that moment on, your whole career can be changed, and before you know it, you could be in stardom. So yeah, you just kind of got to play the game.
So we're actually running out of time. Would you like to give me your socials,
Yeah.
please?
So social media is soaked band. So just soaked and then band on Instagram, and yeah, it's pretty much that. If people like it, they'll find us. Just type in soaked and band. There we are.
That.
Our name isn't Soaked Band though. It really annoys me whenever someone comes up to me and they're like, "Are you guys Soaked Band?" I'm like, "No, it's not Soaked Band." You feel like
Yeah.
David Brent from The Office or something. Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, it's not Soaked Band. It's just Soaked. I couldn't just get Soaked as the username, so I had to put band on
Yeah.
the end. I didn't want to, but I had to.
Yeah, but as things progress and you get more famous, people will
Yeah,
understand that and they'll forget the whole band thing and they'll just know
yeah.
you as soaked. It's difficult. The social media is difficult to keep up with.
Yeah, it is. It's no one really enjoys doing it. People just want to post a picture of their cat and say, "Guys, here's my cat laying on my bed," and then call it at that. they don't want to have to be going into the back end and monitoring and seeing what audience they're reaching, what's the demographic they're reaching, and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, no one wants to. It's totally boring, and it kind of feels useless. But if you want to be successful, you kind of have to do things that you don't really feel comfortable doing.
But thank
Yeah.
you very much for this. This has been absolutely wonderful.
No, yeah, I'm great. I hope it was a good interview.
It was. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all.
Hope you have a good night.
And you, and you.
Thank you. And I will speak to you soon.
Cheers. All the best, Kim.
You
Keep
too.
safe.
Thank
Bye bye.
you. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.